If you were angry, you cried. If you were happy, you laughed. You lived in the present. We started believing that struggle equals worth. That if it's not hard, it's not valuable. Peace is not weakness. You can't stop the waves, but you can certainly learn to surf. Let me ask you something. Have you ever sat back and thought, why does life feel so complicated? We're constantly rushing, chasing goals, juggling expectations, and worrying about the future. And somewhere along the way, we've convinced ourselves that life has to be difficult to be meaningful. But what if that's not true? What if life is actually meant to be simple, peaceful, and even easy? The problem isn't life, it's how we live it. We overthink, compare, and chase things that we don't even want, and then wonder, why do we feel lost? So today, let's slow down for a bit. Let's talk about why we make life hard and how we can make it easy again. Not by escaping reality, but by changing how we see it. Think back to our childhood. When we were kids, life was so easy. We didn't need much. A toy, a story, or a few minutes outside was enough to make us happy. If you were angry, you cried. If you were happy, you laughed. You lived in the present. But as we grew up, we learned something strange. That being grown up means being serious, stressed, and constantly busy. We replaced curiosity with calculation. We started living for the weekend instead for the moment. I'm sure a lot of my friends working in the corporate sector can relate to this. And somehow, we started believing that struggle equals worth. That if it's not hard, it's not valuable. But the truth is that simplicity isn't laziness. Peace is not weakness. Sometimes, the strongest thing that you can do is choose calm in a chaotic world. Life was always simple. We just forgot how to live it that way. We make life hard because we try to control everything. We want people to behave in a certain way. We want plans to go exactly as planned. We want success to come on our timeline. But life has its own rhythm. And every time we try to fight that rhythm, we suffer. Let me share a short story with you. A man once stood by the river, trying to scoop water with his hands. But no matter how hard he tried, the water kept slipping through. Frustrated, he finally stopped. And when he just let his hands rest in the water, he realized that he could feel its coolness without having to hold it. That's life. The more we try to grab it, the more it escapes. In my life, whenever I've wanted something really badly, I've not got it. And when I stopped caring about it, I've got it without putting too much effort. So when we learn to flow with life, it becomes effortless. You can't stop the waves, but you can certainly learn to surf. And acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing peace over control. And the choice itself can make life 10 times easier. We live in the most connected time in human history, and yet we've never felt more behind. Why? Because we're always comparing. Someone's career looks better. Someone's relationship seems happier. Someone's life seems easier. I read this recently and it stuck with me. You're comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reels. Social media shows smiles, not struggles. Success stories, not sleepless nights. When you stop comparing, you start appreciating. Your peace returns. Your joy returns. Because life isn't a race, it's a walk. And the view is beautiful when you stop rushing to the finish line. So learn to enjoy the journey. Imagine you're trying to climb a mountain. Now the joy of climbing the mountain would just last for a few minutes or even lesser. But if you've enjoyed the journey while climbing the mountain, that experience will count much more as compared to reaching the top of the mountain. Life becomes hard the moment we forget that we are enough right now as we are. You know what makes life exhausting? Overthinking. I had this problem for years before I learned how to control my mind and my thoughts. We replay conversations, think about outcomes, and try to plan every tiny detail. As if thinking more will give us control. But overthinking doesn't protect you. It just paralyzes you. We think we need to be perfect to start something. But perfection is just a fear in disguise. Now here's the truth. Every great artist, entrepreneur, creator, or leader that you admire, they all began imperfectly. Life gets easier when you stop trying to be perfect and start trying to be authentic. Because people don't connect with perfection, they connect with honesty. So the next time you catch yourself overthinking, ask this question. Am I solving a problem or am I just creating one in my head? Now let's talk about another thing that complicates life: expectations. We carry invisible backpacks filled with them. From family, society, and even ourselves. By this age, I should have this job. I should be married. I should have that house. I should be happier. But who wrote those rules? Who said your pace has to match anyone else's? The truth is that these expectations make us blind to the beauty of where we already are. Sometimes life feels hard because we're living somebody else's definition of success. So drop the backpack. Walk lighter. Your worth isn't measured by how much you achieve, but by how peacefully you live. When you stop trying to impress others, you start expressing yourself. And that's when life begins to feel easy again. Simplicity isn't about having less, it's about needing less. We've been told that happiness comes from more. More money, more things, more followers, more everything. But real happiness often hides in those small, quiet moments. A morning walk, a deep conversation, a good meal with people you love. These are moments which fill your soul, not your calendar. Nature has it figured out. The sun rises, the waves move, the wind blows without stress, without hurry. It's been a year since I moved out of a big city and I moved to the hills. And I spend a lot of time in nature now. And that's certainly led to a lot of peace and calm in my life. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about is that life feels hard because sometimes we're too harsh on ourselves. We forgive others easily, but not ourselves. We hold on to guilt, regrets, mistakes, as if punishing ourselves will fix things. But it doesn't. Believe me, I'm talking from experience. It just drains it. You're allowed to be a work in progress. You're allowed to fall, to rest, to grow slowly. You don't have to fix yourself to deserve peace. You just have to accept yourself. The day you stop fighting who you are, you start to feel how easy life can actually be. So how do we actually live a happier life? Let's simplify it into 5 principles. Number 1, simplify your priorities. If everything is important, nothing is. Number 2, detach from outcomes. Focus on efforts and not results. Number 3, be present. Most problems disappear when you come back to now. Number 4, protect your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. And number 5, practice gratitude. You already have more than you think. Ease doesn't mean absence of problems. It means the presence of peace, even when problems exist. So maybe life was never meant to be complicated. Maybe it was always meant to be easy. We just layered it with noise, fear, and pressure. And the funny thing is, when you stop fighting life, it actually starts working for you. You smile more, you breathe more, you start living again. Because life is not hard. It's only as hard as the stories that we tell ourselves. So today, tell yourself a new story. That life is simple. That you are enough. And that peace was never lost. It was just waiting for you to slow down and find it again. Because in the end, life really is easy. We just need to stop making it hard. If you're still watching this video, then join this community of like-minded people who want to create a meaningful and an intentional life for themselves by hitting that bell icon. Until next time, keep smiling and take it easy.